Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Kyle. My channel is called Kyle by the Creek, and I have an awesome video in store for you. Well, it's Saturday, September 28th. We're really right at the end of mowing season, but I've been delaying something all year long, and today we're gonna deal with it. Everybody, I have a lot of lawnmowers. Yep, soak it in. Took me quite a while to actually get all these organized for you all, so hopefully you appreciate that. But instead of working on one lawnmower, we've done that before, and those videos don't tend to do all that great. I thought we could do like a repair-a-thon type video. We're gonna work on 12. We're gonna see, I mean, there's no way we're gonna get 12, right? We're gonna see how many we can get running in this video, whatever it takes. So I've been keeping track of these. I don't know if you can tell, but I've actually went through and numbered them all. And let me give you the rundown. First up, we have a Lawnboy 20-inch rear wheel drive 5.5 horsepower Briggs. Looks like it's in pretty good shape. Actually, from what I know about it, it needs a new gas tank. But I think I've heard that one run. Next, we have a Yard Machines 21-inch push mower. It's got a 6.75 foot-pound torque Briggs engine on it. And as you can see, the deck is rotted out. But I think that one's a runner too. Number 3 here, we have a Lawnboy 21-inch. The model is 10686. It's an RWD rear wheel drive, and it's a 195cc Tecumseh on this. Looks like it's missing a bag, but yeah, overall looks to be in okay shape. Number 4, Husqvarna L221A. It's an AWD, and this one is got a Honda GCV 160 on it. This one I know starts up and drives, but it does seem to have some problems with the drive. All right, number 5, a Craftsman M110 21-inch push mower. It's got a 140cc Briggs on it. Real simple push mower. Number 6, a Honda HR214 SX. These are 21-inch. They're rear wheel drive. It's got a 4 horsepower Honda engine on it. That's got a bag. Those are quite nice. I really like those. Those are like sometimes called the best lawnmower ever. So pretty cool things. I think that one's run before. All right, what's next here? We have a Murray E500 21-inch push. It's got a 140cc Briggs on it. Looks to be pretty nice shape. All right, we have actually a 2023 Craftsman. This is a 21-inch FWD 150cc Briggs. Number 9 here, it's a Yardman. It's a 12A569T401. It's a 21-inch FWD 6 horsepower Briggs. Looked at that one kind of close in my latest Cub Cadet video. Hard to squeeze in here, but number 10 here, we have the Craftsman Eager One 21-inch FWD 6.25 Tecumseh. It's got a bag on it. Number 11 is a Troy-Bilt. It's a 12AV5560711. That's a 21-inch FWD 6.75 horsepower Briggs on it. And then number 12 is a Craftsman Precision Plus 21-inch RWD 163cc Briggs Platinum. That's what we got, guys. Standing in the middle of it. So I took my time labeling them and then looking them up just briefly so I could have those specs for you guys. But that doesn't just help, you know, with the video. I'm gonna have to buy a lot of parts, I think, for this project. So I need to stay organized, and I need to stay organized with my filming, which should be pretty interesting. I'm gonna try my best to keep this video quick, fast-paced, but I really want to see how many viable machines we can get out of these 12. So hopefully this sounds interesting to you guys. I hope you watch the video. Like, share, subscribe. Let's see how this one turns out. So a week or two ago, I went through all 12 lawnmowers and tried to start each one. I filmed all that, but I lost some of that footage, so it's not really worth me showing you. So I just pulled in number 3 into the shed. So why am I working on number 3 instead of number 1? Well, because I might be getting some help from HIPA, and they reached out to me and said, what are you working on? I said, well, I'm working on this interesting video. I'm going to try to fix 12 lawnmowers in one video. And they said, oh, cool, what are you working on? And I sent them the list of the 12, and they were able to source some carburetors for, I think 3 or 4 of them. Anyway, so mower 1 and 2 might be getting kind of sponsored by HIPA. So anyway, I'm gonna not work on that until we finalize that deal and get some parts in. But so I might as well work on number 3. And it's kind of interesting because I have worked on this before. I found this on the side of the road, and I did try some things with it. I know it's missing the recoil, so let's dive right in and try to get the recoil fixed. Funny thing is, I knew I had the pull cord handle somewhere in my yard. I just went and found it. But I got a little clamp on the recoil. I'm going to use this handle, obviously, but I'll put a new string on it and see if we can put this back together. I just had to take the pull cord handle off. I had to thread it through this hole in the cover. So, no big deal. Let's tie another knot or two. You can hear it working a little bit. Be nice if HIPA could help with that. Well, from what I can tell, it doesn't have spark, but let's see if the electric start works. Doesn't sound like it's engaging, but kind of cool that it works. So yeah, I did take this out and tested it by hand, and no spark. So I might have a bad coil here. I think I got the starter freed up, and I just put a new spark plug on. I couldn't find a coil in my stash, so we're likely gonna have to order one. But let's see if the starter works now. Oh, weird. It's supposed to, the Bendix is supposed to shoot down. Seems like it just needs some lubrication. There we go. Ooh. So close. Yep, no spark, but electric start works. That's great. Well, it's the next day after work and I wasn't able to finish that Lawnboy. Obviously, I'm waiting on parts now, and you know, if I'm only able to chip away at these like a half a mower a day, this is gonna take a while. I still think it's gonna be an interesting video. So, all right, we're after number 5 here. Number 4 is a mower that HIPA might help me out with. So let's take this one into the shed. I believe I robbed the blade off of this one, but I bet this one will run, and I just need to get a blade. Well, I got a quad in the shed as well as a Lawnboy. This thing's back. I did make a video on this a little while ago, but the issue with not charging the battery just became stronger and stronger to the point where it's basically unusable at this time, and it does need a new starter too. So we got a bunch of things wrong with this, so I took this home from our property up in New York and brought this back so I can work on it. But I think I'll just work on that Craftsman over there. Yeah, definitely no blade. Yeah, I robbed that blade for a friend's mower. All right. Maybe a dirty carburetor. Try it one more time. Okay, we'll crack into this carburetor here. The interesting thing about this lawnmower is it's a 2023, which is pretty cool. So like the fuel lines look brand new on this because they are. Still doesn't mean they come off. Got a clamp on that fuel line. All right, carburetor off. Let's just pry open. Looks good. Maybe there's some crud at the bottom, but hopefully I can just clean this out with carb spray real quick. If you ever have to take the carburetor off on an engine like this, take the engine cover off. It's 3 quick bolts and it gives you way better access to all the linkages. That one runs, it just needs a blade. Just checked my stash and I had a blade. So I robbed this one basically for no reason, but I'll sharpen up that blade in a second. Let me show you that it fits. There you go. Yeah, fits perfectly on that adapter. It's the right blade for this. Nice. Okay, we have the 21-inch blade on there. The oil is plenty clean. It's got gas, sharpened blade, clean carb. This thing's done. Yeah, kind of amazing how a dirty carb would make a 2023 lawnmower be junked, you know? That's really too bad, because that was hardly a dirty carb. It just needed a real quick clean out. Just some carb spray. But yeah, I polished it up just a little bit, and I'm gonna put this away in storage, and she's done. All right, the first mower is done. Number 5 is finished, this Craftsman N110. I just ran it dry on gas and put it away in the tent, and I don't think we spent any money on this mower, really. We'll try to keep track of how much money we're spending. I'll let you know how much I spent on that Lawnboy, because I did buy a new air filter and a new coil for that one. But once we finish that up, I'll give you the totals. All right, let's go to the pile and we'll take out another one. Okay, I bet some of you are excited for this mower. These are absolute classic mowers. Actually, an HR 215, I think it was the first mower that really got me into thinking that I could flip machines. I remember I picked it up for $50. I think it had no spark, and you know, just bought a new coil and things started up, and I sold it for like, I don't know, probably 150, and I was like, this is cool. But this is an HR 214. This is really the more classic one, I think. Although I actually like the 215 a little better. But this guy has something to say. What do you have?
This looks like a rock.
It's not?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a
dirt clump.
Yeah.
Those are fun to throw at trees.
Yeah. If you rip out a rock, like this rock, out of the ground, then there would probably like be one that big.
A dirt clump like that big?
Yeah.
That's like a bomb.
Yeah.
We used to throw those at trees. We used to think they were grenades or something. Like a bomb. Nice.
I'm getting some over there. There's actually like, I'm digging up some dirt to make some.
Nice.
But it would be really helpful if there were water in there.
Oh, it's so dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since water, if you get water on dirt, then put dry dirt on it, then it will harden to be like a ball.
You're right.
And then you can just chuck it at a tree.
Pretty fun stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, do you think this lawnmower over here will start?
No.
Kind of an old one, huh? Oh, yeah.
What the heck?
Yep, I think we have our work cut out for us, huh?
Yep, that's pretty hard.
Yeah, it's an old lawnmower. All right, let's get to work. We'll actually know that this one does fire off a bit. So I was gonna take the bowl nut off, but it's all stripped out. So I'm gonna have to remove this carburetor because I know it's a dirty carb already. Needs a cleaned carb or a new carb. Though I'd love to get this one running for a little bit of time because, you know, we got some things that are disconnected over here. This is the shaft driven one, which is pretty nice. And it does have the bag, so there's a lot of things going for this. Always like these lawnmowers because they have a blade clutch, so the blade doesn't spin until you engage the clutch, which is like, that makes a lot of sense for an engine. You know, why would the blades just spin automatically? Like, think about a lawn tractor. Like, if you're driving around and the blades are always spinning, what a disaster. Well, that's how most lawnmowers work, you know. So talking about safety switches and all that sort of stuff, well, lawnmowers, most of them, the blade just spins. You know, this, you can have it running and the blade isn't spinning. It's way safer. And this is a really old unit, so I don't know what this thing is. a 91, I don't know, something like that. I'll look it up. This says HR 214 FM. I'm sure that tells some people right away what year it is, but here's the nut in the bottom of the bowl. We're gonna see if we can crack it loose here. I can get access to two pretty flat sides. Oh yeah, it's already spinning. I can see already the rust. Oh man. Oh wow. Look at all that. Honestly, looks savable though. I think we can get this to run. This unscrewed, and by the looks of it, it's clogged, which that makes sense. But yeah, I think things will clean up. You can see this is already cleaning up pretty good. I gotta really work on the bowl. That's pretty crusty in there. Okay, so the carb is clean, best we can, and I reattached things. I have no carb spray in there. Let's just see if it fires off. I have no control over choke or anything. It's just probably on idle right now. The cable is broken. All right, we'll give it a little spray. Probably should have checked the oil. I think it had oil. I've never had this thing running yet though. That's awesome. That is sweet. I just tried to engage the blades. Seemed like it kind of wanted to go. Oh yeah, the kids love the smoke. That's healthy. Get out of there. If it wasn't on idle, I bet the blades would spin. That's pretty awesome. You gotta love these lawnmowers. There's plenty of oil in there. Yeah, it's actually really good looking. Probably over full. Most people overfill those. It's not smoking so much. like the idle is coming up too. Yep, and that's how someone rigged up a kill wire. I guess that works. All right, so our self-propel doesn't work. And I think the gear, or the range, speed, whatever you want to call it, shifter, low and high, rabbit and turtle, that doesn't work. Throttle cable doesn't work. I would almost think that the self-propel would work because that cable is connected and moving. So that's not a great sign, because that should do it. You know what? No, that cable is not moving. That's seized. All right. Spring is moving, but the cable is not moving. All right, so we got a lot of cable trouble with this, so I'll have to look up parts and see how expensive all that is. Well, it's the next day and I'm tinkering around with this, and unfortunately I don't think this mower is worth fixing. A couple things, and I know it sounds decent on camera, I bet, but let me explain. All three of the cables, the control cables, need to be replaced. They're all seized, and either seized or broken. Even the linkages on the transmission are seized. It's in really bad shape. Obviously the body of this is not pretty. It's got an electrical thing. I mean, you're like, yeah, these things can be sorted out. Yeah, I guess. It doesn't run well. I know it sounds okay there. It smokes still a bunch, and it doesn't really rev up. So I know the cable's not attached, but even with my finger, try to give it full throttle, it's bogging down. It's all messed up. And you got other things here, things that you guys, you know, don't really notice, but like the tires are all messed up. Yeah. This would be probably my favorite lawnmower if it was going here, but I just don't think it's worth it for this video to fix it up to the point where we're selling it. We got it to run, and like for a lot of other YouTube videos, that's good. Like, will it run? Yes, and then the video ends, but you guys are going to be all mad at me about that. So anyway, I think I'm done with that. All right, but don't worry, I just listed it on Marketplace for 50 bucks. I said the engine runs at idle speed. I said the blades engage, does not self-propel, but could use a new cable. I said it needs work, but the engine runs. 50 bucks, includes the bag. I think that's a good price. All right, what are we at here? Number 7? Where are you, number 7? This one? Must be. My tag got ripped off. Are you number 7? I bet you are. All right, this one looks like it's in great shape, but yeah, you would think that it's seized, like the engine seized, but it's not. The blade underneath can be spun. So something's jammed up with that recoil. So we should be able to pop that off pretty easily and investigate. Oh, you guys are gonna like this one. Broken flywheel. Oh yeah. It's not supposed to break. Yeah. So that would be part of the problem. I do think I have a spare engine, believe it or not. Let's see if we can go dig that up and steal a flywheel. Inside the storage shed. That's a 550. Is the other one a 500? Probably the same, right? Maybe? I don't know. Well, I know that I'm gonna need this gas tank for one of the other mowers, so we're gonna get this thing up top and start taking it apart anyhow. Okay, obviously this is the cracked one. Here's the one off the parts machine. So far looking really good. Let's put this one on the mower, see if it fits. Alright, you can see the flywheel key is in there. How's that for a fit? Coil is spaced properly too. Didn't even have to touch it. Alright, let's tighten these bolts down and put the cover back on. We'll give it a try. Well, looking at the serial number really quick, it looks like this is a 2021. And based on the shape of it, I think that's probably right. So let's see if we get lucky with this. See if it starts. There's gas in it, I checked. We'll make sure that starts right back up, but that was first pull. Yeah, it seems like we had some oil in the muffler, but that's all burning off now. Yeah, I'll just top off the oil. I'll check on the blades, make sure they're sharp, and that's it. This one's done. Well, I just sharpened the blade, topped off the oil. Air filter is decent enough for me. Cleaned it up just a little bit, and let's start it up one more time. Number 7 is finished. Let's go put it in storage. Okay, this Craftsman is number 8 and the Lawnboy is number 1. And I told you just a little bit ago that HIPA is going to help me out with a carburetor for this lawnmower. Now, the thing HIPA didn't know is really what mower needed what. This thing should run, but it's got the gas tank that needs to be replaced. It's all JB welded or whatever. And I definitely have a gas tank for that on that parts mower that we were taking the flywheel off. So I think what I'm going to do is work on number 1, get the gas tank replaced. I bet that thing's going to fire up, and we'll use the carburetor that HIPA plans on giving me on this thing, because this didn't run when I tested it. I remember it fired off, but it wouldn't stay running. So I probably could just use a carb clean, but if we're gonna show that HIPA parts are good, you know, might as well slap that carburetor on and show that it runs the engine correctly. So we'll wait on number 8. We'll go back to number 1. Let's do a gas tank. As much as I was knocking these engines before, I mean, you have to give it up to Briggs for making it really easy to work on. I mean, that gas tank comes off without any bolts or tools. Just 3 5/16 get the engine cover off, and you got access to a lot, you know, a lot of the linkages, the coil. I mean, that is really nice, I have to say. So yeah, I guess if it doesn't run, these carbs can be a little bit tricky, but pretty easy enough to replace, cheap enough parts. So all right, let's get a good tank on here. Just gotta watch out for some dripping fuel, because I know there's some in that tank. Man, that is nice. there we are. Well, I got impatient and I decided to crack into the carb, and I just opened it up, and I think a lot of you guys probably know what this is. That's water that spilled out of there. Look at that. It was almost all full of water. Yeah, you can see that. Yeah, that's not gas moving. So, should be pretty easy to clean, I think. All right, back again. Carb is clean and put back on. I just realized the Briggs engine I'm getting the gas tank from, and I just got the flywheel from, that came from a previous video. I had a video entitled Infested. It was that Briggs engine on a mower that had all sorts of, I don't know, I think it had wasps in it or something. Anyway, it didn't end up working out, and I swapped the engine for another thing, but that's proving to be pretty good with parts. Like that muffler might be loose, but I guess not. Engine speed is a little low. I'm going to try to adjust that now. See this tab right here? This long post. If you bend that towards the front of the machine, it'll give you a higher engine speed. Go the wrong way. Speed. Let's see if it starts easy. I don't know. Might see about replacing a spark plug. That's pretty old in there. Yeah, we'll see if that helps. All right, I just put in a new spark plug. It was on the other engine. So let's see if that makes a difference. A weird start. So obviously that's a little bit of a strange startup, but it runs great, and it started first pull. This does have the auto choke that's operated off the heat from the muffler, and once it warms up a little bit, it pulls it back. So I think that's what you're getting right there. Kind of a weird setup that Briggs thought of. I mean, kind of smart, I guess, but also you can see it just sort of runs strangely. We got to sharpen the blades. But besides that, the oil is good, and I got to clean it up, and then it's done. Just sharpen the blade here. Look at these nice mulching blades. Yeah, I got lucky with this one. That's a nice blade. All right, new gas tank, new spark plug, sharpened blades. clean carb. Let's give it a try. On the first pull. I think that's okay. Obviously, we'll double check all this in the spring before we sell it. I want to make sure that it starts first or second pull. Obviously, that auto choke is a little funny. I don't know. I'll just keep an eye on that. But everything else is rocking and rolling with this thing. Doesn't have a bag, but it is rear self-propel. So that's a bonus. So right now we have 3 machines running and basically ready for sale. One self-propel, the other 2 are push, but really new. 3 or 4 years old, and I think we're gonna make a pretty good profit even off of those 3 machines right there. So I think already this is turning out to be pretty good. Okay, it's the next day and we're looking at number 2 here. This is the one with all the rot. And yeah, I'm jumping back to this one, even though I think HIPA is helping me out with this one. But the link they gave me said that they were giving me a Tecumseh carb for this, but this is a Briggs, so I don't know. So I'm just gonna jump back to this one and work on it. I have this, it's a Craftsman deck, and you know, it's just like a push mower. It doesn't have a bale cable, but I could just use the cable from here. It doesn't have high rear tires, but that's okay. And I believe it's the same size. It looks like, you know, just a typical 21 inch. Maybe this one's 22. I don't know. What do you think? Looks about the same to me, but sometimes it's hard to tell. I'm out of gasoline at home, so we're just gonna see if we can get this to run on spray. If it runs on spray, I'm gonna say this engine is all set. Even though it, you know, might need a new carb or a carb clean, whatever. I think we can do ourselves a favor and just move it on over to this deck. So let's get that done. That's good enough for me to move this thing over. So let's start unbolting stuff. Okay, running into an interesting problem with the push bar handle. So I got the cable on, that's fine. Based on the length of this, you know, I can either fix it here, which is too close to the machine, or I can go way back to this hole, which is too far away. Basically, I need one sort of right in the middle. That's not a problem. I could drill something. This handlebar is not very wide. This one from number 2 is a much wider handle, which means the bale handle itself is obviously the right size for that. But you bring that over to here and it sticks out, you know, an inch or more, really. Yeah. So, you know, this thing just didn't come with a bale handle, so I don't have one. So yeah, I'm sitting here trying to think of things. This is what I came up with. So obviously I have this one. Why not just make this one shorter? Could cut it, weld it so that it's not as wide, right? It's gonna fit in here. I can show you. It's really hard to do one-handed, but anyway, it fits in there just fine. I can even get rid of this stop because the way the the metal is bent, it stops itself right there. It hits the inside of the tube. Anyway, kind of weird, but some of you guys get it. This I could easily shorten up and re-weld so that that fits in there. Then we can hook our bail cable up to there, you know, just do this thing, and just need to find a new hole for this in the frame of the handle, and that shouldn't be that bad. So some might say, why don't you just transfer this whole handle over to here? It doesn't work, you know, it's just way different. The bar, it's flattened to a bar there. This is a tube, you know, you can't do it in the middle. The lengths would be all wrong. This is it, guys. This is the way to do it. So I mean, this is the way to do it for the stuff I have. You know, if I had other parts around, make it easier. So enough talk, let's grind that, re-weld it, see if we can't get it right on the first try. So I think I want to make the cut off center. I could obviously just do it right in the middle, but then I feel like that's too exposed or maybe too much on your hand. So I'm gonna try it like right over here where it flattens out, right out of the curve there. Hopefully you can see what I was thinking now. Yeah, so I'll cut that there, and then we just gotta weld those two pieces together. That's the idea. All right, we got the Harbor Freight welder set out. Let me show you what I'm thinking here. Real simple. Just lay it flat. I already got myself a cleaned off section here for ground. Clip it right on the end there. Just gotta get the cables to cooperate and sit friendly. That's it right there. And we'll start welding. Spider inside my welding mask. A little frightening. All right, continue. Wire's coming out a little fast, but trying to juggle this one-handed. That's more than enough. I'll grind that down so it looks better, and we can even paint it. After grinding it down, that's what we're left with. And I think that looks great. Obviously I can paint it, but let's go take a look, see how it fits on the handlebars. All right, so I actually drilled some holes closer up to the handle. I'll show you why. So as I put this bar in, that fits well now. You know, you want that classic clank, you know. And before it was missing, it was too low. So now you get the, I feel like that's like mowers and blowers right there. Like Henry always slams it down so hard. So I'm gonna drill another hole, maybe about here. I'll size it up. We'll find the right spot for it. But the pre-existing holes aren't right. And we're really close here. this is gonna work out. All right, I went through my stash. There's actually 8 cables right there, and I think I finally settled on one that didn't even need a peg that went inside. I just got it on there with a hose clamp, and it's a good length. Everything connects there properly. It's got good travel there. So I think we're all set with the cable, and I'm gonna leave it just like this. I will hit it with some paint. And I did do some experimenting with some holes, so yeah, I goobered it up just a little bit, but yeah, for a push mower, I think this is gonna be just fine. All right, so we gotta crack into the carb now and get this thing to run consistently. All right, little update. I found the bail handle. It was sitting in the grass. When I pushed these 2 mowers over here, it actually must have been attached. I was sitting there telling you, oh, I don't have it, didn't come with it. It did come with it. It just fell off. So all of that welding stuff wasn't so necessary, but I don't know, we'll see. Let's take this off and see if this original handle works all right. We'll go in the original holes here. Now I wonder if we can use, well, this still might be a good cable to use. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, because we're gonna have to go pretty far. All right, I think we found a winner. We'll stick with the original. I mean, I still needed a different cable, so some of this had to be done. Yeah, all right, there we go. Okay, we're a couple days later, and I just did a quick carb clean on it, and let's see if the thing starts up. If it does, I think we're gonna change the oil on this one. It looks a little bit dark, and I think we need to sharpen the blade too, so we haven't done that yet. First, let's see if it runs consistently. Okay, that was awesome. First pull, a little bit of smoke, but this thing's rocking and rolling. Doesn't look too bad either. You know, sometimes when you put a different engine on a different body, it doesn't look so great, but those colors match up pretty good. Only thing is, you know, it says Craftsman and then it says Yard Machines. So anyone who's looking close will know that this thing has been swapped, but yeah, let's do an oil change, sharpen the blades, and we'll put this thing away. Oil changed and blade sharpened. Actually drained the gas out of the tank too, so we're just gonna run it until the gas runs out of the carb here. You might see the muffler smoking. Definitely spilled some oil all over the place. Still see it down here. Yeah, so it's just a messy oil change with this engine cover. I should have removed that, would have made it a lot better. But anyhow, let me give you some riveting footage of a lawnmower running out of gas. Well, that ran out of gas a lot quicker than I thought. I guess there wasn't too much in the bowl there. I think this is our 4th lawnmower that we fixed so far, and this one didn't cost a dime as far as I can tell. This was number 2 though, just in case you're keeping track of which number lawnmower this was. But yeah, 4 overall I think are fixed at this point. So I'm gonna walk it down to the storage shed and throw it in there for the winter, and we'll keep working away here. Okay, it's time to look at this Husqvarna. This is number 4. I know this one works, and as I'm pulling it out, I'm looking, you know, at this wheel here that doesn't look so straight. I don't know if you could tell how wobbly it is. Yeah, but that's the problem with this one supposedly, is that it's got a drive issue. This is an all-wheel drive. Pretty nice mower. Wish I had the bag, of course, but yeah, let me fire it up for you guys and then I'll show you how it does move. It seems to be like intermittent, like it sort of doesn't catch all the time. Not really intermittent, because it really does, it just keeps self-propelling. It works, it just, you can tell that it doesn't catch at certain moments. So yeah, let me fire it up. I don't know if you could hear that noise, but it was kind of going like wah, 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 wah. You can hear something not catching correctly. So let me start by taking off that wheel, see what the teeth look like on the inside of that. Oh, that thing's loose. Is it supposed to be like that? Almost looks like it broke. It's not supposed to be loose. Huh. This gear looks a little marred, but not too bad. Boy, it's weird because I don't think anything, I think the gear obviously rides on this. So this is just sort of getting in the way. Yeah, it's all sheared. Very odd. Huh. Let me check the other side. Yeah, so here's the other side. See, this thing isn't loose. This is what's wrong with this thing. I bet this is it. Okay, I found some replacement parts for it. This is, the wheel is 580-365-301. And these are aftermarket replacements for $20.99 for 2. So I think I'm gonna go with that. I mean, like I said, I could probably repair this because this really doesn't do much besides act as like a bushing. But, you know, maybe this one would break too. I don't know. People like to criticize me for not replacing enough parts. I mean, I've had people even say, every time I work on something, I replace every single moving part, which, you know, I was like, you know, that makes no sense, guys. But okay, so let me try to make YouTube comments section happy here, and we'll replace both of those. They won't be happy because it's not OEM, but all right, we'll place that order, and then I'll just put this away, work on something else. We got plenty of other things to do. I think that's going to solve this problem though. And just to double check, these are the fronts. You know, nothing wrong with those. So yeah, it's just that one in the back. All right, now we're working on number 8 here. Just put the Husqvarna away, and I kind of remember this one firing off a little bit. It's got gas in it, it's got oil, but it's got a really dirty air filter. I bought a couple of these, so all right, that one's gonna get replaced. Let's give this one a try.
She had to go around the rear stuff. Like 2 honey buns.
Oh yeah, this one has no blade. Feels like it also has no compression. Oh no, it does have a blade.
Grab the cone.
Oh yeah. This one might be broken. Huh. Yeah, this one has 0 compression. Let's get the spark plug out. Alright, well, the spark plug was loose, so that's probably another bad sign. It wasn't out, so that wouldn't have caused the compression problem, but this looks like someone's been in there. Oh, I think that piston's moving. Alright, kind of impossible to film, but actually I thought I was feeling the piston going up and down, but I had pushed it all the way in and the connecting rod was just sort of bumping it. But nope, it's got a blown connecting rod. That's pretty interesting, huh? Yeah, I mean, I do have that parts engine, but I took the flywheel off it, so I could use the flywheel from this. I should be able to put together an engine here, believe it or not. Yeah, because, let's see. Just thinking out loud now. Where is it? This engine that we stole the flywheel off of. The only reason I didn't use this thing was because it basically had an air leak and it just wouldn't run right. So, between all the parts I have, I think we should be able to figure something out here. So yeah, maybe this engine will be useful after all. It's already been great. We've got the flywheel from it, but and the gas tank. So we've already parted that engine out pretty good. But yeah, I think we're gonna want this thing to work, because this is a pretty nice mowing deck for front wheel drive and all. So yeah, let's see if we can start removing an engine here. Pretty easy removal there. A couple bolts. Yeah, I mean, this frame is in perfect shape, so we're definitely going to want to make this thing work here. Number 8, we're going to figure it out. All right, so just looking over, here's what's been my parts engine, but it does have a connecting rod. This is a 150 cc. What was on here is 140 cc. So yeah, this is the original engine. So yeah, I am putting on a slightly smaller one, but I think everything's going to be okay. So one thing to tackle first is, can we get, oh, I can hear the crunchies in there already. Can we get this off? So I got to find a way to get that pulley off. I have my big pulley remover. Don't know if that's the right tool for this, but yeah, I got to get that off, because this one does not have the pulley. This was a push mower. This one self-propel. I don't think I've ever done this before with this puller. You have a lot of different arrangements, and I didn't realize you had one that was like where you can just do 2 and have them be right across from one another, because I think that's what I want to do. I want to just use 2 of the pullers, instead of, I don't really want to pull on the pulley itself, but this bar here that supports the blade, I think that can handle it. So let's try that. Oh. All right, came loose here. Sort of, kind of. Using all the right tools here. There we go. All right, good. Extraction. Okay, got the engine mounted. Even underneath, got that plastic shroud all squared away. The bail cable hooks up correctly too. All right, obviously we're missing a flywheel here. Well, we borrowed that for the other mower, but let's go borrow this flywheel and transfer it over. These flywheels seem like they'd be hard to remove because you can't really get the flywheel puller around it, but I'm just taking, I did this twice now, take a crowbar and I just hammer it in, and that wedge drives this thing up. And this thing is, oh, I can't get it one-handed, but well, you just have to trust me, this flywheel is loose. All right, this has been a fun engine swap, doing it outside, just on my hands and knees in the grass. Well, the engine shroud looks a little funny, I guess, not being red, but you know, could I use that one instead? Looks like I could definitely use that one instead, but that's the correct numbers for the engine. I could get tricky and just remove the sticker. See the sticker here? Bring it over to there, or other way around, bring this sticker over to this shroud, then we have the right, I don't know. Yeah, I'll think about that. I mean, not that this thing looks terrible, it looks fine. Dirty. All right, so we're gonna fire it up here. I'm fully expecting some run issues because that was why this engine got removed in the first place. So let's see what happens here. No spark plug. It's like, why does this one feel like it has no compression? All right, let's get a spark plug put in here. Let's try this again. This time we have a coil on and a spark plug. That was the problem last time. Oh, okay. All right. It's got gas. Carburetor is that bad? Is that a little better? It stopped surging, but it doesn't quite sound right yet. Stopped smoking though, but yeah, now it's surging still. All right, off camera, I did quite a bit here. I actually put on the muffler from this engine because I do remember battling with this doohickey device here that opens and closes the choke based on the temperature of the muffler. I didn't like that on that previous engine, and so I wanted to get rid of it. So yeah, put on that muffler, and I put on the carb from the other machine. And yeah, let's see if this makes a difference. Got to get the dipstick on there better, but yeah, that thing runs great. Great. So this thing runs perfect now. Self-propel works. Starts right up after it's been hot. I think that was the second pull anyway, so that's just what we want. Pretty hard to believe that, you know, the original engine, this thing, the little pieces of it we have left, that was a 2023 engine. Right now it's 3/4 through 2024, but yeah, that engine did not last long before it threw a rod. That's really terrible. You know, even if it had oil from the factory, you would think it would last longer than that. So that might have been a defect or something. But yeah, how about for number 8 we do an engine swap? That turned out pretty good, huh? And you know, what do you think something like this is worth? At least 150, you know, front wheel drive, newer mower. Pretty awesome, I think. And you know, cool that this engine from the infested video, that's come back around, and I solved that problem with you know, another carb. And really probably what it was that little device, I forget what it's called, somebody will correct me and tell me the name, but the thing that runs off of, like, it's like the auto choke that runs off the muffler. I think that was defective on the other one. But yeah. All right, so I do need to clean this up. I do need to sharpen the blade underneath. I don't need to do an oil change because the engine was drained of oil and I just topped it off till it's full now. So yeah, it just needs to be cleaned up and a sharpened blade, and we'll put it away. Carmen's getting big here. All right, well, that took a little while. It's a beautiful evening here, end of October. But number 8 cleaned up real nice. It's got a fully operational engine on it. I thought I had air filters. I have air filters for Tecumseh's, so I do need to get the right air filter for that. But sharpened blade and oil, and this thing is ready for storage. Just got to drain the gas and run it dry. All right, on to another one. All right, back on number 3 over here. I have a new coil installed and we have spark again, but I can't have the kill wire hooked up. If the kill wire is hooked up, it does not have spark. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I have the bail handle compressed, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. But we do have spark once again. I'm wondering now if the old coil was fine and just needed this unplugged and some other sort of issue figured out. But in any case, we could try this. I have a pretty good feeling our carburetor is very dirty, but would love to see this thing and hear this thing fire off. starter never really did feel too healthy, but doesn't seem to, I've oiled it too, it just doesn't seem to want to throw. Let's see if I can try it for you. See, now it's like, you can see it's smoking. I don't know what's going on there. Why is it spinning on there? How bad is our compression? It's a little strong. Maybe we'll put the engine cover on and we'll try the pull cord. Wow. Well, that was all the starter fluid. Shocks you a little bit. All right, it's running good now, just cleared up. I'm wondering if it didn't have spark because there's no bag on it. I have to look closely here, but it might not run without a bag. Some things are like that, because this thing just shoots grass right back up at you, hits you in the face. It's pretty nasty. But let's see, what are these signs here? Can't quite make it out. Oh, here we go. So I don't know, that one's like, don't run without the bag, don't run without the air filter. There's something on the ground there, or the side cover. You could take the side cover off and you could block this with like the rear discharge plug, or you could run it with the bag. So yeah, I wonder if it's got a thing. I'm kind of looking right here. I don't know if you can see that. That might be something that with the bar there for the bagger, then it'll have spark. Without it, it kills spark. So that might be what I'm dealing with there. Just a safety thing. I'll figure that out. I'm really wondering if I have a bag with this. I don't think it came with one. So yeah, I'll look around. I did pick this one up off the side of the road, so you know, I don't know. I don't really remember much about it. All right, let's work on number 11 here. I know nothing about this. I know that I got it from a friend's place where he works, and They have a bunch of broken machines in a shed, and I helped them out with something, and they said, take a couple lawnmowers if you'd like. So this one and number 12 were the ones I chose, mainly because they look to be mostly complete and in decent shape. It's missing the airbox cover there, but yeah, I think it's all there. I have not tried to start it, so let's try. Take a look at what's coming out of this gas tank. It's more than discolored. There's lots of crud coming out too. That's gotta be water, right? Wow, look at that mixture. What is that? That is one of the grossest gas tanks I've ever emptied. So what I got out of the bowl, guess things could be worse. But I do have some gas in here. Gas should be flowing, so I guess we have a stuck needle. So let's take this whole thing apart. So it's a bit worse than I first thought. I know you can't really see the crusties in there too well, but yeah. Someone wrote what looks like a part number on here, 799872, I think it reads. I don't know. So that's making me think it's aftermarket anyway. And I had this in my shed from my tag sale pickup. If you watch my YouTube shorts, you saw that I picked up a bunch of carburetors, aftermarket ones. And yeah, this is the same one. Let's see if I can line it up for you. Same carb. So yeah, I'm just gonna throw that on. Looks like we're still not getting much for fuel flow, so I'm gonna blow that out a bit, and then we'll try this out. Well, it's not running it very well. I wasn't quite happy with the gasket going into the car, but I don't think that's going to cause much, because that's just where the air box meets the carburetor. It's really the other side of the carburetor. You got to worry about that. Yeah, obviously it sounds like it's not running at a very high RPM, so we can easily fix that. Probably needs an air filter, that would help it, and probably a better carburetor would help it. But let's keep trying a few things. Okay, I increased the tension on the spring, and I found an air box cover and an air filter. Let's give this another try. Well, it doesn't seem like it's getting a prime. The primer bulb doesn't seem to be working, and that could be the air box cover itself. I can kind of hear something, but not quite working. But I do want to hear how this runs with an air filter on it, so I'm going to try to do this quick. Well, it's just running really bad, and the front self-propel is not working all that great either. It does engage, but it doesn't really have any force to it. So I think we gotta work on some things here. Now the shroud was not bolted down, and you can see some frayed wires here. So someone's been here before. We should be able to put some more tension on this cable. It's definitely frayed there. Possibly a new belt wouldn't hurt, but let's start with the simple thing. That looks like it's stripped out. This is shot, really, this cable. It's, you know, I could maybe pin it down for like a couple minutes, but it's just gonna strip out. And it doesn't look so hot up here either. Like, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on in there too. So it might be good to just pop that off and see if we can't replace a cable. Really would like to get the engine running better, but it doesn't look like we have a transmission problem. Probably either just a belt or a better cable will do it. But yeah, I'd like that primer to work so that the engine can start without doing carb spray, and really would like it to run better, so just have to keep messing with it. So I'll show you what I mean about the airbox cover and how if you don't have a good gasket, it affects the primer bulb. So I happen to have had a few of these gaskets. That one's backwards, I think. It goes like this. Anyway, we'll get that seated correctly in just a minute, but if it's broken down here, you can see this little divot, this little valley or ravine. That needs to be sealed by the gasket so that the prime works. And that was the exact spot that was broken on the gasket. So yeah, I'm gonna put this gasket on, and hopefully this works a lot better with the primer bulb now. I think I just solved it, but I had to give up on this particular airbox. This primer must have had, it must have a crack in it or something, but I put on a different one, and I don't know if you'll be able to see in there. Yeah, you can see. See, now it's shooting up fuel. So that's one way you can visually check to make sure your primer is working. So we got a new gasket and we got a better primer bulb. This thing should fire off now. I don't know if it will run well. Okay, still runs pretty bad. You know, I'm sure it has to do with the jetting on the carb. I mean, we could try a different spark plug. I don't know. Probably gonna need to get a different carb, something OEM. But yeah, let's try a different spark plug. Why not? Well, we might have broke something a little significant here. Ow, that's hot. That's a head bolt. I went to go tighten those down, and that one was yeah, ready to snap. I thought we were onto something there. Maybe we had an air leak. I don't know if I'll ever know now. It's possible I could extract that bolt. Yeah. Job got a little bigger here. All right, good morning. It's November 2nd. Can you tell by all these long shadows? Look at that. All right, we got a couple of wheels here. eBay has delivered. Let's get those rear wheels swapped out. We'll see if this thing drives correctly now. All right, let's fire up number 4 here. All right, I have to say that didn't fix it. Seems like it's a belt issue, really. Can tell that there's a lot of lag. You know, you engage the drive and it just takes a little while before it takes off. So I'd imagine it would be pretty bad on hills too. So, all right, let's look into that belt. Okay, things are, you know, not in great shape under here, but you know, one thing I see immediately is this one belt doesn't seem to be routed correctly on that pulley. It's on this metal thing, which looks like it's the belt guide. Belt looks in decent shape, but I probably just need a flathead screwdriver to pry that off. Might be able to get it by hand, but I'm gonna put that so that it's not on that side of the belt guide, so that it's actually running on the pulley itself. Let me make that adjustment first. I know it's really hard to see with the lighting. This belt guide is nearly worn completely down. I mean, at least it's really shiny. Maybe it's not worn completely down, but it's been polished up pretty good. That belt must have been like that for a long time. Let's try this out now. Let me get my socket back. Okay, once again, we're back looking at parts. So I decided to go with a new drive cable for this. I'll show you in a minute why, but I did get it to operate perfectly. But the blade is also shot, so I'm getting a new blade. So yeah, we're putting, what are we doing here? $35 more worth of stuff into this. But let me show you the, so yeah, we're putting like $35 more into this machine, but let me show you the drive cable and what's wrong with it and what I did to rig it up. If you can see, I put a loop in it and that tightened it up because it's all stripped out. You know, a lot of those wires are now frayed, so I'm pretty sure that's going to solve it. If not, I can do some other things, but basically I put that loop in because it was already frayed. And you know, I was about to lose that bent. Basically I did that loop because the cable was already frayed and I didn't want it to snap off. I wanted to give it a loop and then see if the drive system worked fine, and it does. Works great. It's very strong. No lag either. So yeah, I guess this thing is costing a little bit of money, but it is going to be a pretty nice machine, even though it doesn't have a bag. Pretty disappointed about that, but we'll see if I can come up with one. So I have those orders placed, and another thing I did off camera was I took off each of these pulleys and I took off the bearing seal and repacked them with grease. One of these had a layer of grass packed all the way around it, like the belt was actually riding on a layer of grass instead of the plastic of the groove of the pulley. It just seems like a bad design under here. You know, the 30 seconds of mowing I did, the thing was jam-packed with grass. I don't know if there's like supposed to be another shroud or something, but yeah, I can see why these pulleys might have some problems. But these are all good now. They're nice and quiet, so that's why I don't feel bad putting some more money into this. You know, I wonder if the shop, you know, noticed that, quoted them all 3 new pulleys plus a new cable and all, you know, new wheel, and it was just too much for the original owner. Well, we have number 12 here. This is the companion to the one that I picked up at my buddy's place, where they had a lot of dead machines, but this one seemed like one of the better ones. Just like, I guess it's number 11 over there. This one feels good when you pull it over. It looks complete. It looks like it's in decent shape. It's got a blade. Does it have a belt? It does have a drive belt. So, yeah, probably a dirty carb. I think that was the culprit for a lot of the things that they had there, where either the engines were blown, you know, overuse, lack of maintenance or whatever, or just got inoperable due to dirty carbs. You know, especially if everything else looks like it's functional, everything feels good here, pulls over nice. So we'll give it a shot of spray, see if it comes to life, and then we'll go from there. right, we'll check the spark plug. Spark plug is all fouled, like terribly. So let's clean that up. I'm gonna pull the pull cord on it, see if I can flush whatever's in the top end out of there. Let's see if you can see spark. Okay, we did have spark, so let's try again. All right. So we had a fouled plug, and I think we have a dirty carburetor. I mean, we could try a couple more times. Just noticed the fuel. The fuel is on. Do we have any fuel? We do. Maybe we could drain that. I don't know. I bet there's so much water in there, but let me drain. Let me see what the gas looks like before we get into cleaning the carb. Well, that's what's coming out of there. Very dark, but no water, and that still smells okay, actually. But yeah, I have more to drain. There's a lot in there. I just spared you the carb clean video, but you know, the thing looks brand new on the inside. Huh, that's stripped out. I didn't do that either. That's funny. Look at that. That was not me. I was just thinking this thing is very, very nice. Well, I bet it'll run, but you know, I don't really want to sell that to somebody. I think I have a couple of these actually, so let me pull one off the shelf, see if it's the same. So this is the carb I got from the tag sale a little while ago. It has no choke plate. Looks like I could transfer everything over though, so that's a possibility. Let me keep digging, see if I have another one. All right, they just keep coming. Yep, I have another one. And is it set up the same way? Yeah, it's got the, oh, I just got to figure out which direction this goes. Yeah, it's got to go like that. Okay. Let's put this one on. So we have a clean carb. I topped it off with oil and fresh gas. Let's see what happens. I have the gas off. Doesn't seem like it's going to. Got a blown head gasket on this one. This is terrible. Yeah, I don't know. I guess a head gasket, or it just could be the muffler's that filled with oil, which, you know, it's kind of what it seemed like, but you know, it's not, I don't think it's too hard to get the head off this, so we could definitely inspect that. But yeah, it started, what was that, the second pull? That's pretty awesome. All right, I might just run that a little bit more just to see, but that didn't look too promising, did it? Mowed a bunch with it, stopped smoking. Let's see what happens when you fire it back up. Yeah, I increased the speed too of the engine, so I think we're okay. I think, you know, maybe this thing was stored on its side or something like that. Sometimes people do that. Obviously the gas was disgusting in there, and the spark plug was fouled, so some stuff was going on. I'm not really sure, but I don't think it's a head gasket. It's performing well, and actually I really like this mower, I have to say. The rear wheel drive, I like these grips where you can control it with either hand, doesn't matter which one you pull. You know, this one, do that one, they both do it. You have the speed adjuster here, all that works. So this thing's in pretty nice shape. Well, number 12. I have to say, I like this lawnmower a lot. I was gonna run it dry on gasoline. I put what I felt like was just a little bit in there. This thing ran for 45 minutes or more. I'm now all sweaty. I just did a bunch of mowing with it. It didn't skip a beat. The drive system works perfectly. It pulls up hills. It honestly, and I don't say this much, it cuts like a brand new lawnmower. And I know this thing isn't too old. I forget the year exactly, but I think this thing is gonna get a decent amount of money here. So yeah, we have another one finished. Number 12 is done, and I'm starting to collect. I even forget how many I have ready. Is this 6 or 7 out of the 12? Might be 6, but yeah, we're gonna have a lot to sell in the spring. And you know, something like this, you know, if you were to find it in the store, it'd be a lot more expensive next year than it has been the last couple of years. Like lawnmower prices, they've been going up. You know, as much as I like to sell tractors, and I don't sell a lot of these because, you know, they're not worth all that much, but they're becoming worth all that much now. So yeah, probably not a bad idea to have a whole bunch of them ready to go. So let's put this one in the storage shed. It's run dry on gas. I put a new air filter on it. We sharpened the blades. It's got fresh oil. This thing's good to go. All right, it's time in the video where we finally have some HIPA parts. Like I said in the beginning of the video, HIPA did reach out to me and said, you know, we like your channel. What are you working on? And I said, I'm working on a video where I'm repairing 12 lawnmowers. They said, well, what are they? And I sent them a list of the 12, and they gave me, I believe this is 4 carburetors, but in the pack of stuff they threw in this like book where you would like keep log of like the work that you do on machines and stuff. It's pretty cool. And check out this bottle opener. That is nice. So let's crack in and we'll see what they gave me. Hey, got everything opened up here. Got a pre-filter, Briggs filter. Yeah, some of those gaskets we featured already. Alright, spark plug, fuel filter. Ooh, primer bowls. Nice. Another spark plug. And there we go, Carb. Yeah, very nice. That should help out for sure. Alright, another Carb. Great. It's got a choke on it. No, there's some other stuff in here. Gaskets and such. This looks like a Tecumseh carb. Don't mind my son singing about the dog. Yeah, that's nice. That looks good quality. Like really solid metal, you know? What else we have? Alright. Little gasket. Put it there. Kind of distracting, but stay with me, guys. Alright, this is Honda stuff here. Alright, we got a replacement Honda carburetor and some gaskets. Oh yeah, and the small Honda fuel line. Boy, that gasket feels nice. Yeah, I have to say this stuff is like really high quality metal. Like, it does not feel as cheap as China stuff. Even looks way nicer, doesn't it? It's kind of a cool color. But yeah, it feels heavy. I know that's not like the most important thing, but it just feels good. Check out the branding that they stamped on the side of this replacement Honda Carb. It says HIPA right there. And I did ask them, I don't hear a lot of people talking about this, but I asked them how to pronounce it, and they said, it's HIPA. It is high performance parts. That's what that stands for. So you say the high, like high performance, HIPA. So I was calling it HIPA before because I just didn't know, but it's HIPA. I got it right from their mouth. All right, just to speed things along here, this does fire off. Seems like the carb is dirty. Primer bulb works, which is kind of amazing. Very different setup here. But as I prime that, you can see fuel's moving its way in there. After a couple pumps, it will fire off. Doesn't stay running. It seems like it's got a bent shaft. So I know some people have good luck fixing those on their own. I do not. I will attempt to, but I have a feeling I'll just make it worse. I don't have the proper tool to do it, but we'll see. Sometimes you can get lucky with a few little hits with a mallet and that straightens it out. I don't know if I'll be able to do it though. We'll see. I might have forgotten to tell you this is number 9, but the carb is clean now and it does run. It's not running real great, so I might try a few other things, but it's not vibrating quite as bad as I thought. Now that it's finally running, it actually smoothed out a bit instead of it just like puttering, you know, when it was running off carb spray. So but let's see if this touch and mow system works. It seems like it wants to work. If you put it like this and run it for a while, right when you shut it off, it winds up the starter, and then you have to press this button and pull this back, and it will pull the bail cable, and then that starter will give like a couple revolutions there. And you know, I think if I prime this, it might actually start up. It's never actually started with that system. Let me give it a bunch of primes. It's been starting a lot more easily now. Close. The starter. Let's see if he'll do it. That's pretty cool. I have to say, that's pretty cool. So it's not really the way to like start your machine after it's been sitting, but it sure does make it easier if you have to stop, pick something up. You know, if I had a bagger, dump the bagger, then you just get back to it. You don't even have to pull it. That is pretty cool. It is running better, but not perfectly, and it definitely has a bit of a bent shaft. I know people are crazy about seafoam, and I've never really had much luck with it. This thing is like starting to perform a little better on its own, but let me just put, oh, that's probably too much. Just put a little bit of seafoam in there. It's got almost no oil, so I need to put some oil in it too, but you know, after the carb clean and that didn't really do it. Well, it did do it. We got it running, but it's not running perfectly. Maybe some seafoam will help us. I got the oil draining, got the spark plug boot off. Yeah, this is definitely a bent shaft here. I can see it pretty easily. This is about the high spot right here. I don't know. I'll take it off. I'll see maybe a hit or two. I don't know. I'm always cautious to do this. I feel like I don't ever get it right. I don't know. I gave it a whack or two. I could tell it's bent, but maybe it's a little better. Really slight, little just thunk, you know, not much. Well, we have a, looks like a fuel tank leak here. So, yeah. Let's take some covers off and see what's going on with that. This thing isn't shaping up too good, is it? Okay, it is bad news. It's just pouring out of this top seam after I filled up the tank all the way. That's just no longer sealed anymore. A huge mess over here. We would need this exact gas tank if we ever wanted this. I mean, this is the coolest part of the mower. Is this touch and mow or whatever they call it. And it's part of the gas tank. Oh yeah, back here I do have another one of these Briggs Quantums, and it doesn't have obviously a slot for that touch and mow, but that gas tank should work. That thing already has its head off, so I don't know. I guess we could try. Last ditch effort here. Steal a gas tank off this. I mean, the thing still isn't nice, and it's going to be even less nice with that touch and mow system just kind of like dangling there, but yeah, I mean, it kind of just will look like this, you know. You can still operate it. I don't know, guys. That's what I'm thinking. All right, so here's that gas tank I was showing you. But this one with the touch and mow on the Yardman, it has a different cutout on the tank to accommodate for that starter. And this one, you know, this fuel outlet is going that way, this one's going that way. It's just set up differently. It's not the same part. Well, guys, here's the OEM part. It's $72. I will not be buying it. It's not worth it. You know, if this thing didn't have a bent shaft, then yeah, maybe. But no, I think this one was just more for entertainment. And I'm glad we got to see it run, and it fired off one time with that touch and mow system, and that was really cool. Self-propel did work, you know. Maybe I save it for another engine, I don't know. We're down to the last one that I haven't messed around with at all yet. Not all the mowers are done. I know there's one that I have to return back to, but we are getting down to it. This is number 10. It's one of these eager ones. These are pretty popular. I don't really like these lawnmowers, but they're pretty popular. These are always filthy like that. I do have 2 Tecumseh lawnmowers, at least 2, and 1 Carb from HIPA, so we'll see what happens there with that stuff, what they might go on, but this feels pretty good. We'll see if it runs. Whoop. Maybe no spark on this one. It's smoking. All right, it does have spark. Before I throw my arm out, we'll take the carb off. Maybe we'll put on a new carb. I hope the timing's not off on this. Smoking in weird places. So this is a good test for this HIPA replacement carb here for this Tecumseh engine. Let's see how it does, HIPA. I think we got everything put back together except the air filter, and I think this fuel line's leaking, so that's just something I'll have to deal with later. I want to see if this thing runs. Kind of feels like it's backfiring. Wonder if we have a sheared flywheel key. I think the timing's off. Yes, we do have a sheared flywheel key. If you can see it right there, there. So it's off like by like, I don't know, 2 o'clock or something. So just a little bit off, but yeah, I could sense that right away. All right, let's see what we could do. Pop the coil off, get that out of the way, see if we can get the flywheel off. Just some light crowbar work. We got that loose. And a big old sheared flywheel key. It got like smushed in there. All right, check out the new flywheel key I made up. Just had some key stock and had to do a lot of grinding because that was like a tapered key. So it's kind of interesting, but got it done. It's in there. Let's see if we can put this back together. Well, we have another gigantic mess on our hands, but I think everything's put back together. Let's give it a try. Sweet, it all works. All right, this thing deserves a nice new air filter now. Actually, I think I have to put it on like this. Yep, brand new HIPA carb. The engine's in time, got a new fuel line on there. The oil was really nice, and I topped it off because it was low, so oil's fine. It's got gas in it, probably got too much gas in it, but well, let's sharpen this blade here, and then this thing is finished. Just needs to be cleaned up. All right, last little thing I needed to do was put a return spring on the self-propel. This gets pulled like that way, and it engages, and then it wasn't returning, so it was just kind of locked in self-propel. But that spring had rotted out. So I got that all cleaned out in there, blew out all the grass clippings. I'm gonna put the cover back on. Nice work, HIPA. This carburetor is fantastic. It starts on the first pull. I'll show you. Collected a good amount of grass right there too. Well, I just cleaned it up just a little bit. Not that this thing is ever gonna look really nice, but yeah, number 10 is all done. Well, we had another sheared flywheel key, and we needed a carburetor from HIPA, so that was awesome. This one turned out great. It has a bagger, self-propel works, starts right up. It's an old lawnmower, but you know, for the right price, somebody is going to buy it. So let's drain the gas and get this thing put away in storage. Well, good morning. Saturday, November 16th, and back on number 4 over here. I did a few things off camera. I did get a new drive cable, so that is nice, and that's hooked in securely there. I also got a new blade. I think it's hitting on like one spot here where it's a little dented, so I gotta fix that. But the other thing I wanted to do was use this HIPA Honda carb replacement here and put it on this one. Now this will be an interesting test to, you know, see how good this HIPA carb is, because this thing runs fine. So it's not like I have to replace it, but I'm going to replace it, and I'm going to show you guys how this carb works. So let's do a side-by-side. Let's see how the OEM carb runs this machine, and then I'll just pop on the HIPA carb, and then we'll do a quick listen to see if it sounds a little different, you know, runs a little differently, whatever the case. Hopefully it's identical, and that would be HIPA doing their job. So I'll let you guys be the judge. Okay, before I put on this HIPA carb, I do have to say the choke mechanisms are different. So the HIPA carb does not have the auto choke on it. It just has like a operated choke. You know, you'd have to pull a lever, or, you know, there'd have to be a dedicated choke to it. This one has this whole fancy thing on top. It also swings the other way. You can see that. Yeah, it swings the other way. All right, I'm not deterred though. I think I can transfer this auto choke over to the HIPA carb, but I didn't think I was getting into that. So anyway, okay, first things first is I pulled the choke plate out with just some flat nose pliers. Then this part will lift straight up. It's just about ready to do that. Just wanted to possibly document the hook. The opened end of the hook is on like the right side of this post. So yeah, I'm gonna pull this off. The spring's gonna come out like that. See? All right, so that's the auto choke mechanism that we want. Let's see if I can hang that up like that. Maybe. So here's the HIPA carb. Let's try not to break anything. Should be able to pull this out. Anyway, that's pretty hard. I'm gonna work at that, but that plate should pull out. All right, just needed two hands there, but I got it. So the spring on this one is on the other side, where the opened end of the spring hook is on the left-hand side, because this thing swings the other way. So I'm just trying to document that half for myself. All right, so that's off. Well, I was pretty excited to try to make this work for HIPA, but it ain't gonna work. Even the throttle plate is different the more I look at it. I don't know if you can see, HIPA carb right here. There's a post there. It's just not gonna work. It's not the right carb. Oh well. Well, I went back and double checked through my communication with HIPA and wanted to make sure that I wasn't trying to put the wrong carb on the wrong machine, but no, when I told them I had this Husqvarna L22 1A, that's the carb they sent me. And you know, once again, it doesn't have the auto choke, so that's the wrong one. I did use some of the gaskets in the fuel line, so thanks for that. But this is the OEM carb. Just fire it back up for you. And you can see that all-wheel drive works great. So that new cable definitely helped out. So this thing is done. Wish I was able to put a new carb on it, but doesn't really need it anyhow. But it would have been a cool demonstration. So anyway, next time. All right, number 4, you are done. I just wiped it down just a little bit to make it kind of clean before I store it. Ran it dry on fuel, drained the tank, shut off the fuel line, and we're good to go on this. I'm definitely going to look for a bag while this thing sits in winter storage. So maybe by the time we get to spring, I'll actually have a bag for this thing. That would make this a lot more valuable, because this is one of the better mowers I have here. So we're returning to number 11 here, and this is the one with the broken head bolt now. But this thing did run, but it ran poorly, and as it turns out, HIPA has given me a carb for this exact machine. So I think this will actually be an interesting experiment. I'll show you again how bad this runs, and then we'll slap a new carb on there. And yes, it does run even with a broken head bolt, you know, but that's not how we're gonna sell it. So if it runs well, and if over the winter I can get that head bolt out, then I'll invest in things like the self-propel cable, and then, you know, this thing will be a viable machine. But the carburetor that HIPA's giving me will definitely help in seeing if we want to keep this mower or just use it for parts. Let me show you how it runs. Okay, I think we're setting the bar pretty low here. A replacement carb should definitely run better than that thing. The thing is, that itself is a replacement carb. So, you know, let's see if HIPA runs better than this no-name Chinese brand. We'll see if there's an improvement. All right, taking off the carb that was on there, I broke the throttle plate. Yeah, so anyway, all right, here's the package that HIPA gave me for this replacement. This should be the same. It's set up a little differently. This one has a choke that you can set up. Like you could put this on full choke, but the carburetor on this one does not have a choke. It's not supposed to have a choke, so I'm going to leave it wide open, set like that with the spring, so that should be fine. Everything else, you know, I think should be fine. Obviously this throttle plate is broken now, but you get the idea. All right, lots of other goodies, gaskets, even a new primer bulb, which I think we'll definitely use, so I'll take that other one out. Even have spark plugs. We'll use spark plugs. And filters, 3 filters. We could even do an inline filter on that, but I don't know if we necessarily need to do that. But yeah, let's get this going here. The HIPA carburetor's installed, as well as the spark plug, air filter, gaskets and such. So okay, well, I'm not blown away, but there's a lot of factors to consider here. One being that we have a broken head bolt. Yeah, so does it run better than that other one? Definitely. You know, might need a little tuning. I don't know if there's anything to tune there, but yeah, that's what we got. And really, I'll just let you be the judge. What would you do if you were repairing this lawnmower? Would you invest in it now? You know, is it worth trying to get that bolt out of the head? And would you then spend some money on a drive cable? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Yeah, there's one mower that I have that HIPA said they'd help me out with, and it still has the original carb on it, and this is running great. This is number 2. Number 2 I finished. We did what did we do? We put that engine on that deck, I think is what we did, and we had to mess around with the handlebars and stuff. So that's this mower, and yeah, it runs good. Let's start it up, see how it runs, then we'll throw a HIPA carb on there and see if we can get a side-by-side comparison. All right, let's throw that carb on. And just to show you quickly, this is the one HIPA gave me. It's got a little choke mechanism on it, so we'll double check on all that stuff. And they gave me the intake O-ring and then the air filter gasket, or the air box gasket. Okay, let's give this a try with the HIPA Carb. I like this one, went together really well. It had the screw hole in the carb for the auto choke mechanism, so this was definitely the right part. So let's see if it runs it. All right, nice work, HIPA. That one went together perfectly. That sounds identical to me. I'll have to review the footage, but I think that sounds identical. So it's running the engine perfectly, and now we can say we have a brand new carb on there. So yeah, this mower is done for the second time. Well, believe it or not, guys, I'm gonna end the video here. It's been long enough. We're over 2 hours. I don't know what it is at this point, but I haven't posted a video in a long time, and you know, I got a lot going on. I actually changed the school that I work at now, so still a teacher, just at a different school district, a lot closer to home, which is great. But whole job change, and then filming this project, for whatever reason, this is what I chose to work on here, and it took forever. But not every mower is complete. There is a little bit of lingering work I'm going to have to do, but I got them all lined up for you. Let me do a quick rundown of the 12 lawnmowers. And I'll do my best to keep my shadow out of the way here. But here's number 1, this Lawnboy. This thing's working great. Rear self-propel, pretty nice lawnmower. Not too much to say about it. Number 2 here, just got the HIPA Carb, and this one was an engine swap and all that sort of stuff. Number 3, this is the big one that I really wish I had finished, but there's a lot going on with this one. I actually need to slow down a bit and tell you about it. It still has some kill switch issues. I did get a plug for it. I thought this plug would connect into that and allow for kill to be a little better, but it doesn't. So I'm gonna still be looking for a bag for this thing, but at least it's somewhat usable. The other thing I kind of forgot about this was the handle for self-propel is broken, and I'm gonna have to like make some metal part for that. This thing is still pretty cool with the electric start, and it just needs a lot more work. So that one is going to be a winter project. All right, number 4, the Husqvarna. This thing is running perfectly. We put a lot of money into this with the rear wheels and a new blade, a new drive cable. What else did we do this? We tried to do a new carb, but that didn't work. But anyway, this thing is really nice. I'm definitely going to be looking for a bag for this, and they're out there. I should be able to score one for like 20-40 bucks, and I think that'll be worth it. Number 5, nice lawnmower. What do we have to do? This was one of these, was like either the flywheel or I don't know, you'll remember, but at this point I'm all confused at which one. But obviously this is just a push mower, but it's really new and very good shape. All right, number 6, the Honda HR 214. This thing is listed for sale, 50 bucks, no bites on it. So, you know, not the right time of year to be buying a lawnmower. But yeah, that one's actually listed for sale. All right, what do we have? Number 7 here, the Murray. This thing is very nice. You know, again, one of these things, flywheel, I don't remember anymore, but working great. Just a push mower, nice shape. Here's a front wheel drive. This thing's doing fine too. We did put a different engine on this one, right? If you remember that, and messed around with some carb stuff, and yeah, but this thing's working. All right, number 9. This one is a junked mower. If I can fix that gas tank, you know, maybe I'll put some seal all on it, but I don't know. I don't really want to spend a whole bunch of money on seal all, and you know, it's not that expensive, but whatever. I don't know. This thing might just be a parts machine. Number 10, working really nice. We got a HIPA carb on there, and that thing is running this perfectly with the front self-propel and the bag. You know, older unit here, but looking pretty nice. All right, number 11, we did put a HIPA carb on there. It's not running perfectly. Don't know if I can blame HIPA on that one. We got a cracked head bolt, and you know, this thing was never that good to begin with, so yeah, kind of a rough mower here, but this one still has the possibility to bounce back. And then finally, number 12, I really like this one, this Craftsman Precision Plus with the 7.25 gross, whatever, the torque, you know, not horsepower. But number 12 is a really nice lawnmower, and I did a bunch of mowing with that one. So there is the lineup, guys. I'll do a cost breakdown. It wasn't too much, but I did spend some money, and most of it was on eBay, so let me look it up on my phone. I'll tell you what I spent. All right, pardon me while I stare at my phone, but that's 9 perfectly running lawnmowers, 1 HR214 that's, you know, a $50 parts mower, and then 2 that are basically junked, although 1 might bounce back. So, you know, you could say 9, let's call it 10. We got 10 out of the 12. I'm pretty happy about that. All right, what did we spend? $23 on a blade, $13 on a drive cable, $19 on that mulching plug, $13 on Briggs air filters, $21 on rear wheels for that Husqvarna, $10 on Tecumseh air filters, $16 on a Tecumseh ignition coil. That's what we got. So part of this deal also was, you know, getting 4 free carburetors from HIPA, and then HIPA also gave me $100 PayPal to do this whole project too. So I know I'm definitely over $100 there, but you throw in that PayPal money from HIPA and we're doing pretty good. I'll put the math here. I'm not gonna do that right now. I'll do that while I'm editing. All right, guys, well, it's been a while, so thanks for being patient. You know, I've been watching the channel just kind of lose steam there, but what are you gonna do, you know? But hopefully you enjoy this long video, and I thought it was a fun project, a little different. It's not just your rider tractor content that you guys seem to really like. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you like and subscribe. This one took a lot of work and a lot of time, so definitely subscribe and help me out. Again, my name is Kyle. The channel's called Kyle by the Creek, and we'll catch you guys next time on some project that we're working on here. Probably a lawn tractor, because I got a lot that needs some attention. See you guys.